I'm bridging a gap. Yeah. 16-11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with a slap. Hey, on the block where it's at. White cracks getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Steps going up.
Boxing, you boxing? Yeah, you box? Okay, you box professionally, amateur?
Professional.
Professional, okay. What, you play any sports? You do anything like that? Huh? Oh, you play football? Okay, I used to play football too, right? Now, when did we start boxing and when did we start playing football?
Wake 'em up!
When did the black man and the Hispanic man start doing these things?
When we came over to America,
They came over to America when we were slaves. What about you? My man, what was your name again? Will and Angel. Will and Angel. When did we start playing football? Well, us as a people, not you specifically, but like, when did the black man and the Hispanic man, when did we start playing football? Or sports in general? Huh? When we came to this country. Alright, we're going to show you where the sports came from. It's in the Bible, right? Watch, I'm going to show you this. 2 Maccabees, read that.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 13.
bring it out!
Now such was the height of...
verse 11.
Verse 11. And the royal privileges granted of special favors to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Eupolemus, who went ambassador to Rome for enmity and aid. He took away and putting down the governments which were according to the law. He brought up new customs against the law.
So guess what? There was somebody, we had an Israelite, a Jew, who didn't want to keep God's laws and commandments. He wanted to follow, this is during the time, when you read the book of Maccabees, it's during the time of the Greeks, the so-called white man. We were in captivity against the Greeks, right? But to ease the oppression on us, he wanted to assimilate himself with the Greeks. So he started creating laws that went against us.
Right.
Keep reading.
For he built gladly a place of exercise.
So he said, and built gladly a place of exercise. What do we call places of exercise? What do they call today?
Wake 'em up! Bring it out!
A place of exercise. What is that called today?
Let 'em know!
A gym, right? A gym, you agree? A gym is called a place of exercise. Now, let me ask you something. When you look at the word gymnasium, the root word gym, where does that come from? What does gym mean?
Bring it out!
I mean, it depends on like whichever gym you're talking about. Like, because I'm thinking of a diamond.
No, my bad. Like from, you know, gymnasium, a place of exercise, like gym, G-Y-M. What is that word? What does that word mean?
Check this out, right? Look at this yard weight.
What, you think of weights, okay? What about you?
Okay, go ahead.
Say again?
Yes, sir.
Place to work out. All right, gym comes from the Greek word gymnos. It means naked.
Right.
It means naked place. So when they built the place of exercise, they were working out naked.
Bring it
When
out!
they started playing sports, they were working out naked. That's why when you see all these different Greek statues and stuff, guess what? They butt naked.
Right.
They butt naked. But guess what? You had Jews who wanted to do what the so-called white man was doing.
Hallelujah.
We wanted to play sports naked with them. That's what was going down in the time of the Greeks, right? Keep reading.
For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection.
So he got the young men, right? Because when you look at the NFL, you look at the boxers, right? The NBA players, they're young. They're in their young 20s, young 30s. They get those young men and have them play. But guess what? They're doing it, all this stuff they're doing naked.
Right.
They're doing this.
And they take showers naked.
They taking showers naked. Guess what? I play football. Guess what? They were used to take showers all together, slide naked on the ground and everything. I wouldn't take showers. I would go home. I'm like, you know what? I'm taking a shower home. But guess what? They be slapping each other in the butt. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But guess what? That was going on. And it was happened before we got to America. Right? This is the history. Read.
And brought the chief young men under his subjections and made them wear a hat. Now, such was the height of Greek fashion.
So the Greek fashion. So we were following the Greek so-called white man. Read.
And increase of heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, the ungodly wretch.
So real quick, we almost done, Will. Listen, what we're showing our Angel, my bad, real quick, Angel. What we're showing y'all is that these Greekish fashion that we're following, guess what? It takes us away from keeping God's laws and commandments.
Right.
It keeps us from keeping God's laws and commandments because guess what? When you play sports, right? What day do we play football on? Friday, and Sunday, right? What is Friday and Saturday, according to the Bible?
Bring it out!
What is Friday? Because you play Friday night, right? and then sometimes you play Saturday morning, like the college football games, they play Friday night or Saturday morning, right? What is that day according to God? Give me that real quick, Exodus 20, and then we're going to come back.
It should be his day.
His day, okay, which is what? Saturday, right? Okay. All right, hey, Angel, I know you're trying to leave. Make sure you read that flyer, right? Watch this, Will. Read that.
I'm on my way.
Right? Because what we're showing you is, when we were following the Greekish customs, they taught us to shave our beards off. Right? They taught us to break God's Sabbath. They taught us that it's okay to look at another man's nakedness.
Right.
That stuff goes against God's laws and commandments, but they forced us into it. Why? So we can assimilate, so we can ease the oppression today. We see that today. We like to do a lot of things. Our people like to assimilate, like marry the other nations, go to their churches, go to their schooling system, do all these things so that we can ease our oppression. We can be like that. But guess what? We can never rise above the state of our people. Just because we got a handful of people who are rich or well off, that doesn't make them above their people. You understand what I'm saying?
Bring it out.
Right, read what you got.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work.
So the Bible says 6 days we should labor and do all of our work, right? What's the first day of the week? Monday? Sunday is the first day of the week. So what's the 6th day? It's the 6th day. Friday, right? So Friday. And the way we count our days is from night to night. So Friday night, so when it gets nighttime tonight, that's the start of a new day, right? So Friday night to Saturday night, that will be God's Sabbath day, right? We're not supposed to be doing any work, right? Keep reading.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate.
So when we were in our own land keeping God's laws and commandments, guess what? All these businesses on the Sabbath day were shut down.
Right.
Nobody was buying or selling. Nobody was working. We weren't cooking. You're not allowed to cook on that day. We kept the Sabbath day holy. But when we went into captivity under the Greeks, guess what? We started breaking the Sabbath. Even to this day, when it comes to the sports, for an example, the boxing matches, the football games, the basketball games, all these things happen majority on Saturday. We are breaking God's commandments. You understand what I'm saying? Now go back to 2 Maccabees, read verse 13 again.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 13. Now such was the height of Greek fashion and increase of heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason.
Jason was an Israelite from the tribe of Levi. He was a priest. He was supposed to, the priests, they were supposed to teach us to keep the commandments. They were sacrificed for us. But he said, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. I want to do what the Greeks do. Right? Keep reading.
Through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch and no high priest, that the priest had no courage to serve anymore at the altar.
So the priests didn't want to do what God set them up to do. They didn't want to keep the commandments. They didn't want to make sure the nation was right, keeping the commandments, sacrificing them, because that was their role, the Levites, who are the Haitians today. Right? Read.
But despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices.
So that's what our people do. We despise God's laws and commandments. We despise who we truly are.
Right.
That's what our people do today. We despise that thing. We don't want to do what the Bible says to do. We want to play sports. We want to do these type of things. You understand what I'm saying? Read.
But despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowances in the place of exercise.
See, we wanted to exercise. We wanted to do all these type of things. Read.
After the game of discus.
Psalms 137-3. Right after the game of discus. What is discus? Yeah, they're taking the discus. But remember, how were they doing it? They were doing it butt naked. So you can just imagine the scenery. But when you see discus, right? Ven aquí. ¿Cómo se llama? Valerie, what's your name, bro? Abastul? Hey, come over here real quick. Come over here. I'm dealing with our brother Will right here. Right? We're going over what happened in the time of the Greeks, right? Because a lot of our people were playing sports back in the day. You play sports? You watch sports? No? Okay. What about you? What do you play? You play basketball. Okay, so guess what? I was showing Will, my brother right here, that we learned sports, right, during the time of the Greeks. They were making us do these sports naked. Doing all these types of things against the Bible. See, you saw, man, look, huh? It's crazy, huh? But it's in the Bible. And the things that we're doing back then, we're doing it now. And what we're showing our brother Will, what we're going to show you is that Our purpose is not to be basketball players, football players, tennis players, things of that nature, right? Our purpose is to serve God and keep God's laws and commands. I'm going to show you.
That's
Keep reading
right.
where you're at. Keep reading. Psalms 137:3.
The book of Psalms, chapter 137,
Yeah.
verse 3.
Bring it out.
For there they that carried us away captives required us a song.
Because remember, Will, we went into slavery how? But how then? Yes, we were cursed, and so therefore we went into slavery. But how did we go into slavery? What was the form of transportation? By ships, right? So we went, the black Hispanic man, we went into slavery on ships. When we got on those ships, right, they made us play different things like soccer. The Hispanics, they played soccer on the plantation. They would go, one plantation would go against another plantation playing soccer to win a trophy for their slave master. Say it again? Yeah, go ahead, take a picture, right? And even today, guess what? Who are the owners of these teams? Like the Raiders and all these different NBA teams. Who are the owners? So-called white men. So our people, who's the best basketball players? Blacks and Hispanics. Who are the best soccer players? Blacks and Hispanics. Who are the best baseball players? We got the Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, right? The children of Israel, we are the best players, right? And they come and get us. They get us some different countries to make sure we play for the team. But who are we playing for at the end of the day? The so-called white men, our enemies.
Right.
They're making billions of dollars and oppressing us, keeping us in sin, so our people don't even rise. Because our people who are making those millions of dollars in these sports as athletes, has our community changed? No, look at it. Look at where we live right now. Would you say, what are the hoods in San Diego? El Cajon, right?
Southeast.
Lemon Grove, Southeast San Diego, Skyline. Our people at the bottom. And guess what? We have people who came out, went to sports, got rich, right? But has our community improved from that? It hasn't. And when we're showing you sports is not a solution out, hear me out. There's nothing wrong with playing sports, right? There's nothing wrong. We're not saying you can't play basketball. We're not saying that. But when you're doing that and putting it above God's laws and commandments, that's when we're going off.
Right.
Right? When we're doing things naked, right? When we're breaking God's Sabbath day to go play sports, that's when we're going off.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong.